Good morning, Orca family. My name is Mr. Hanks, filming from home again. Welcome to Lesson 5 for Unit 2, Chapter 3. Rolling on through, we have 2 more lessons left before our big test. This one is quite a long one. We have 3 readings to go along with it, and this is what the chapter is named after, Progressivism. So Progressivism is kind of the movement we've kind of been talking about so far. Going ahead without spoiling too much, our objective for the day: describe the causes and effects of the progressive movement, including the role of muckrakers. Okay? All right, and we've already talked about the muckrakers and who they were. They were the investigative journalists that was trying to expose all the corruption and the bad working conditions that we were living under at the time, people working in factories and stuff. All right, and that's before what we said in a previous lesson, which dealt with, the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire Factory and the child labor reforms. And then in Lesson 3, we had also talked about the social reform and regulations that they impose on big business. And I'll refer you back to the Sherman Antitrust Act and the Clayton Antitrust Act for references on that. All right, without any further ado, so yes, let's get on through with this. So what do you think Theodore Roosevelt meant when he said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick"? And that is a term that's kind of been coined by Theodore Roosevelt. It kind of followed his entire political party, the Bull Moose Party, as well. They have the picture for it for reference and everything. So yeah, just as kind of reference, I just want to know, what do you think that sounds like? Speak softly and carry a big stick. Okay. All right. We have 3 readings for the day, and they're not long. It's just 3 of them today. We have Progressivism in the Presidency, the Louisiana Constitution of 1913. Remember, every state has their own constitution, and we're kind of seeing how Louisiana evolves over time, starting back from 1896 all the way to about 1923 we're going to get to, but this is the 1913 one. And reading number 3, Working Together. So I have the pages listed for you, everything. This one is Progressivism in the Presidency. You'll read through that. You hit those main ideas, the who, what, when, where, why, how, as you read. Hit those 3 questions as well. How did Theodore Roosevelt use the government to institute reforms as president? Why was the Antiquities Act of 1906 significant? And how were Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, and Woodrow Wilson similar? I always laugh when we mention William Howard Taft. It's the only president to ever get stuck in the bathtub, and they had to call the fire department to get him on and put the large bathtub that they have nowadays in it. Kind of seen as a lame duck president, but he kind of is grouped in with the progressivists right here. Theodore Roosevelt was a very big supporter of the progressivist movement. In this reading, you're going to kind of see the breakdown of all that. You're going to see how he was one of the pushing forces behind the antitrust acts we talked about earlier. He also agreed with Upton Sinclair that the food and drug industry needed better regulation as well, just not as extreme as him. I'm trying to think. Let's see. He was also kind of a big time naturalist, I guess you could say. He was just someone that loved nature. He didn't like to see a lot of land waste and everything. So yeah, just some things to kind of maybe pull out of the reading, some things that are interesting that we're gonna have to get to a little bit later as we kind of dive more into Theodore Roosevelt. I keep want to say Roosevelt, but it's Roosevelt. But yeah, all right, moving on. Move to the second reading, and that is our Louisiana Constitution of 1913. All right. Do know that, as you read excerpts from the Louisiana Constitution of 1898, Unit 1, A Nation in Conflict, that this is kind of like I said earlier, kind of drawing from that. And this also, it kind of coincides with Working Together, the third reading, so it's kind of a short one. But go ahead, as you're reading, I kind of want you to look at some of those changes that they were making in Louisiana, kind of stepping towards being the state that we are today. Once again, we have our main ideas: who, what, when, where, why, how. We have the 3 questions. How did the Louisiana Constitution of 1913 reflect the spirit of the Progressive era? Because you could see it very strongly. We'll start getting into that when we start talking more about Huey P. Long. That's coming up as well. A lot of people like Huey P. Long's history and everything. Why was the Louisiana Constitution of 1913 ineffective? So I want you to, as you're reading, pull out what you think kind of would have made it not as effective as it should have been. Like, you got a goal and it didn't reach that goal. Why? Why were reformers and elected leaders able to accomplish so much during this era? And like I said, like, the progressive movement was big. Theodore Roosevelt was elected, and a lot of what I like to think is good things happened. We saw a lot of regulations on the factory workers. Children couldn't be subjugated to harsh working conditions. Children couldn't even work anymore. It was getting so extreme, and I'll refer you back to the Shirtwaist Factory Fire. I'm sorry. And that's just to kind of highlight some of the ideas. I want you to come here. I want you to pick at least 2 of these DOK questions at the end of the lesson and answer them. Investigate how the Louisiana Constitution in 1913 affected the political structure of the state. What changes did it bring about? So how did it change Louisiana? If you could give me like a few little facts and statements that about like how Louisiana isn't just changing from the last time we looked at it, but how's it kind of becoming the state we know today? Corrupt. Anyway, or formulate an argument for or against a specific provision of the Louisiana Constitution in 1913 based on its impact to the citizens. So I want you, and this is the one I kind of am going to leave my students in class to answer. I want them to have those arguments. I want you to be able to argue. So I do want this one. You can pick 1 or 3, but the second one is a really good one. Like I said, formulate an argument for or against a specific provision. Provision is just one of the things that the Louisiana Constitution laid out now. Are you for it or against it? Why or why not? Act like you're making an argument. Have some good points and evidence. And draw conclusions about the significance of the Louisiana Constitution in 1913 in the context of Louisiana history. And that kind of goes with what I just said. So 2 and 3 can kind of be combined. Awesome. And for the exit ticket for the day, I am going to take this lovely little exit ticket right here, just reinforcing for those to be presents. Howard Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, and Woodrow Wilson similar. Give me the statement, evidence, do the ticketism formatting for it, and you should be good. Once again, if you're not in class for this, I hope everything is okay. I hope you're feeling better. Hope everything's going okay. And because we want you back here with the family in the nest. Awesome. Remember to grow your strong minds and your strong hearts and live the arc away. Love yourselves and love each other. I'll see you in the next video.